Hey Rags and Witches, and welcome to another art one. What's up? Just depressive cycles because of basically today is going to be an old one. Procreate films your videos as you make them. I made this in September. I have an art account. It's not seeing the light of day. So you know what, you guys get some more art content today. Enjoy that. Stream driver's license. Period. Okay, so this is what I call the sketching stage, but if you ask literally any other artist, sketching stage is messy. This is probably like the third or fourth sketching stage for most people, because sketching is really just drawing messy lines and then like just detailing it more as you go, but I just go in for detail the first time, and this took me a long time. Always mess around with the face because faces are complicated and faces are really hard to make seem human. Yeah. I've talked about making it very difficult for myself, but coloring for like the skin tones and the face in general, I do make it difficult for myself because I take the little color picker and I go in and I go exactly to the place that I'm coloring and I take that color. For the skin specifically, I just like take little bits of the color picker and just keep moving and blending them, and I like to do the eyes first on a lot of these pictures because it really like brings them to life, because a lot of times I'm not satisfied with my sketch because it doesn't look as human as I want it to, but really adding color is very much a big part of it. And when I start with the eyes, it makes me feel a lot better because they actually look like human eyes, and that's like the whole point of my art sometimes. And just to add, I really like being an artist really makes you have an appreciation for the different types of noses, because you really being an artist and doing every detail is absolutely insane. Like, I have stared at Harry's eye bags for much longer than any normal human should have. This is literally just me coloring in the shadow of his face. So. Okay, now eyebrows. Here's the thing about eyebrows. I always have a tough time. This is one of my first pieces on digital that was so detailed, but I did it literally by strand and hair, and it's just, I feel like that's the only way you can do it to make it kind of realistic without them looking blocky, but I spend way too much time doing eyebrows. Okay, here's the thing about our Mr. Man. I love Harry, I do, but drawing him so much has made me realize his forehead is kind of big. It's kind of large, and I don't mean that in any offensive way, but I just have realized that. The mustache and facial hair are basically the same in that regard, like just very much little lines at one time, just to pile up and make facial hair. It's a process, and honestly this one looks like he has a little too much facial hair because he had kind of like a stubble going on, but I'm not really honestly sure how to do stubble at this well, I wasn't at this point, and I still am not really sure. So you can see me just blending it out. When I get to the chin, that's another thing. As an artist, I really like the chin. I don't know why. I like to do the eyes, the nose, and the chin the most of all, because it's such a defining feature. You have all that light that catches. You have like the shadows on the chin, and it'll come in like soon after I do this little chin hair that he had. It's just such a prominent feature. He's got this sort of light that really makes such a depth to him, and I really love that. Another thing as an artist is just the lips. I love the lips. They're always so like interesting. They're interestingly shaped. The shadows are interesting and all such things. But I hate teeth. If there's a smiling picture out there, I hate it because they always are shaped wrong and they're not even, and it's just a disaster. Funny story with these hands, I'm pretty sure I drew them to the right scale, and then my artist brain was like, yeah, these proportions are wrong. So I did like the select thing and shrunk it, so I think they're actually smaller than his hands in real life, because his hands are so big that my proportion trained artist brain was like, this isn't right. So that's interesting. The rings are really fun to do, the metallic, the gold, very nice. I didn't think that it was gonna look right until I added the shadows, which is interesting. And I think the whole like the shadows of like the fingers being in his hair, super cool, and that was very fun to do. And I liked the different types of rings. It really made me have an appreciation for his rings. I mean, I will never be able to forget the intricacies of Harry Styles because of how many times I've drawn him. So next up is hair, and let me tell you, his hair was like a really weird color here. I don't remember his hair ever being like this kind of like dark chocolatey brown, but it wasn't here. And one of the things about hair for me, I like it when it's over, but like shading hair is very complicated. For me, I shade it like vertically in lines so it looks like strands of hair. So it takes a long time for like all the highlights and individual little hairs to come out, and I am not one to skip out on details. I went to the full 9 on this. I did as much as I physically could. I matched up all the colors. I'm really happy with how it turned out with like the shading and stuff, because it actually looks like hair. It looks like there's layers and there's strands, and that's really what the whole thing for me was about. But it did take a while. It does take a while. I seriously regret doing hair every time that I have to do it. But hey, that's the artist lifestyle. And just by the way, if you see me flashing the kind of sketch up, it's because I'm checking to see if there's any like little white spots, like, so when it's done and I take the line art away or sketching away, I won't have any spots that I'll have to fix in the end. So I know I talk trash about hair, but I think one of the greatest parts of doing hair is kind of like transitioning the colors into the brighter, like of the light, which happens with skin too, but it's for some reason not as satisfying when it happens there, because you can see here and I'm changing the hair color itself. You don't realize when you like color pick it, it looks so different. You're like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. But if you can properly shade it and get it to the right amount of mix, then it will look natural. So if you're drawing something and you think the colors are too different, as long as you can blend it well, you shouldn't have a problem. expect me to say I'm most proud of the face and stuff, but honestly, I'm most proud of this. The collar is not anything special. I think it's pretty accurate. I mean, I think I made it a little too big compared to the reference picture, but I mean, I get proportions wrong all the time. That's pretty normal. You can't even tell at this point. But honestly, you just make mistakes. They're stylistic choices. So the biggest thing that I'm most proud of is 100% this ruffly sleeve. Because let me tell you, it takes a lot to get that sort of shading and to make it look like it's overlapping, and I think I did literally so well here because it looks like real life. And I mean, the face is a little stylistic, but honest to Harry here, this sleeve is the best part of this for me. It's just, you can see the layers, and that was the whole point of this section, and I'm really glad that it came through. This is probably the part I'm most proud of this. It's just these ruffles because they're actually layered and there's different shading, and that's just all I need in life. I was especially happy with like the little pink that came through, because like in the picture that's what happens. If you get random color and you're like, oh, this doesn't make any sense, it does. It's in the picture, just you'll work it out. And this sleeve was kind of fun to do as well because of the like shading and the little circular. I actually think I made the sleeve a little too big, but you know what? Proportions doesn't matter when the overall looks. Literally, I love it so much. It took me so long, and if it looked bad, I probably would have cried.
I've decided with my art videos, I'm going to have a, quote-unquote, glamour shot, because I found good music for it. Fight me.
Isn't that great? Doesn't it look amazing? It took me a very long time so I can say that. So I hope you liked it. I draw hairstyles a lot, and I don't really know why. I don't know if it's because I like love him or if it's just because like his face is just so interesting and he looks like a different person every other Tuesday. So there's probably gonna be more. I have a bunch that are in process, like of one of him that I put him in the strawberry dress because I'm a simple bisexual and you can't change me. I'm just gonna keep it short. Goodbye all your rags and riches. See you in the next video. Stay hydrated, eat your food. And once again, stream Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license. See you in the next one.